Hey! Woo! Alright, I'm in a really good mood today. No, I'm not entirely done with the book, but I'm entirely done as far as these streams go because it will be finished this week. End of story. I'm not having a ChillCreate stream next next week, and possibly not the week after that either, because I'll be dealing with making sure all the formatting for this is done and dealing with some other stuff that I really want to show you, but I don't want to show you while I'm working on it just yet. So I may still stream on Monday, but it's gonna be to be determined as what's going on that day. So anyway, hi, DT. I just saw your message. I just wasn't able to get to it. So yes, there is going to be Sassy Grandpa Child who farts fairy dust in this stream today, and there is also oh, you worked on digital art. Awesome, awesome. Have you popped it into the Discord? Because I definitely want to see it. Hi, hi, hi. I'm excited, dude. Today I'm really excited because I'm gonna be showing you two things. Not only gonna be showing you the doll, which is it's still got a bit of work left, but this work is stuff that I'm gonna finish tomorrow. Like by the end of the day tomorrow, I'm gonna be done with all of the basic work, and then I just have to do the title page or the cover page. The cover page is going to probably take me the rest of the week, and then I got to do all the formatting for Amazon KDP. So if you've ever tried to publish a picture book, there's so much formatting, and then you just get to reformat. So then once I'm done formatting, I get to get like get the product in my hands and double check it and hear how much. Oh, there's all these arrows, da 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 da, and have to do it like 2 or 3 more times. It always happens. This is my 5th time publishing a picture book, so looking forward to it. But I'm doing my best. Anyway, so here's what I have. I have all of the pages, all of the borders. The borders are not all in the new color format, which is this. So this is what I have. I want to make sure that you guys can see what is going on here. Let me move this a little bit. Boop boop boop. Because I want you guys to be able to read along. I flattened all the images so that you guys can read along. I can like put them all up here. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and read the doll, and then I get to present to you one of my absolute all-time favorite pieces that I wrote in 2013, maybe. I think I was 23, so yeah, 2013. I wrote it. An entire novel in verse. I'm not going to read you the whole novel, but I wrote an entire novel in verse. Chapters of a novel entirely in verse that mixes nursery rhymes and fairy tales, and it's really cool, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. So I'm going to present chapter 1 to you guys because it is something I am in the works of getting a really cool like animatic to go with it. But until then, it's going to end up being a free story on my website that you guys will be able to enjoy. So I'll just post a chapter probably every week. So yeah. All right. Who's in chat? I see DT. DT, you are here. Hi. Is that everybody right now? If that's everybody, I guess so. But I want to be able to read this story to people who are like first timers. But that's fine. Should I read the Cat, the Jack, the Rat, and the Joker first? And wait for people to come in chat? Technically, most of the people who've come in here. Oh, hi! What's up, N Malik? I'm gonna call you NM because that's gonna be fun. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you could make it. We have enough. Look, 2 is more than enough for me. I'm gonna go ahead and read this. I am gonna turn down the music. Because I can't read with music. My brain will collapse in on itself. So we're just gonna boop that for a minute, and let's begin. You're gonna see these first few pages, or first like 5 pages or 6 pages, 5 I think, have the completed backgrounds and like textures and everything. The final ones don't have all of the textures completed or the backgrounds completed. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be done by the end of the day tomorrow, because I'm awesome. All right, let's go. DT, get ready for your sassy grandpa who farts. Fairy dust. Malik, you don't have to worry about why that is. In a time of kings and feuding lands, a very young king sought counselors to grow his kingdom. He had every business owner and acclaimed craftsman, philosopher, scientist, and charismatic speaker called to his courts. They each brought words of knowledge and experience from their lives and offered gifts to the king in hopes of becoming part of his permanent council. But also, into his courts came the child. Amidst all the jewels, armor, weapons, and perfumes, the child brought a single scroll. "Greetings, king," said the child. "I come with wisdom from the heavens. I have no need for a place among your counselors, and I do not call any place on this world my true home. However, I have loved ones in your kingdom, and I wish for them to have a good king. On this scroll is written 5 principles. If you heed them, both you and your kingdom will be blessed, and all that is yours will expand." The king inquired about the child, and learned that the child had indeed gathered an esteemed reputation, traveling for many years and never aging. So he accepted the scroll, and the child went on his way. This is what the scroll said: "A king's wealth is measured by his generosity. If even the poorest among you has ready means to find food and shelter, the goodness of your land will be known, and your bounty will increase. Accept no bribes to shut your eyes or ears from injustice. Deal impartially with nobles and peasants alike, so that the wisdom of your ways will be known, and your people will increase. Make learning available to any citizen who would rise for it, regardless of bloodline. The more talent and skills your citizens have, the better quality of life your land will have. Keep one wife and treasure her always, and your home will be more prosperous than the man with 7 wives, and your children will respect you." Hi, hide! What's up? And number 5, delight in the laughter of your people. If sorrow remains a long time anywhere in your kingdom, make an honest effort to lift it. Encourage your people, and they will encourage you. The king read the list of principles, then asked the newly appointed council what they thought. "Obviously written by a child," said the businessman. "If you give all your money away, how are you to maintain any influence with other kingdoms? Wars cost, you know." "If all men were equivalent," the craftsman said, "then there would not be ugly or beautiful. There would not be talented or untalented. The very hearts themselves do not regard everyone equally. It is better to preserve those who have more to offer the kingdom." "It is a lovely dream," voiced the philosopher, "but if you let everyone learn anything, you could raise up people who would work against you. Knowledge is power, after all. Better to keep power in the hands of those you trust." "Having only one wife makes no sense for a king," quipped the charismatic man. "What if something would have happened to your heirs or to your wife? You always need backup, preferably as many as possible." "Logically, laughter should not be so important," said the scientist. "Emotions in general are fleeting. Leave such details to carnivals and drinks. A king has to make many decisions that his people may not like, but they are necessary." So the king listened to the words of his counselors and left the scroll to gather dust. Time passed. The young king grew, and when 3 years had gone by, the child returned and entered the king's courts. "Greetings, king," said the child. "How fares your kingdom?" The king replied, "Beautifully. See my palace? It shines better than it ever had. We have much gold and plenty of food." "That is remarkable, king," said the child. "I have just come from the outer borders. There is a village there that has had a very poor harvest for 2 years. Perhaps some of your abundance can be shared with them." The king frowned. "So you only came to give a negative report?" Do you not see how grand my kingdom is? The villages on the outer edges barely contribute anything, even when they have a good harvest. Why provide for the lazy and unproductive? When other kings visit, they only go by the main roads and don't visit the peasantry. They see this palace and marvel. They respect me more than they did my father. When the child tried again to get the king to offer assistance, the king tired of him and turned him away. Go back to your travels. When you hear the good words other kings say about me, you'll return with a better eye. A couple years passed, and the king continued to rule. The child visited the king's courts again. Greetings, king, said the child. How fares your kingdom? Still angry at the child for his previous visit, the king scoffed. Oh, hang on a minute. I feel like I'm missing a page. I'm missing a page. Hold up, missing a page. Let me get the page. Where's this one? Yeah, I'm missing page 7. Good, I'm glad about that. 1 second. Boop, boop. Ooh, I hope this doesn't use too much of my CPU, baby. You see that? That color is a bad color down there. Anyway, let's get that page real quick. That night, half the king's grain and half the king's treasury had vanished. He searched every corner of the kingdom, but no one had it. Suspecting the child, the king sent out warriors to bring him in, but the child could not be found. He turned his anger to the village that the child had mentioned, but realized that there were too many among the outer reaches that could fit its description, and the child had never called the village by name. So he increased the taxes on all povertous outer villages, then gave up the search so that word would not get out to other kingdoms that his storehouses had been raided. All right, here we go. Now we're back to the child's next visit. So a couple years passed, the king continued to rule, and the child revisited the king's courts again. Greetings, king, said the child. How fares your kingdom? Still angry at the child for his previous visit, the king scoffed. Come to steal from my treasury again, have you? The child shook his head. If anything was stolen from your treasury, I assure you my hands had no need for it. I am a traveler and a sage. I live on whatever nature provides me. As you requested, I listened to other kings with regard to you. And? Asked the king happily. How do they regard me? It is said that you rule like iron, and your jailhouses are full. That they are, agreed the king. But I am also merciful. If they can contribute properly to the kingdom, I release them. And how do they contribute to the kingdom while they are in the jailhouse? Asked the child. If they are worth anything at all to their families, the family pays for their release. And if no one can pay, then they are not worth anything at all, obviously. The child pondered these words, then made the king an offer. Perhaps some of your teachers can go to the jailhouses and find those with potential for training. That way, they are not simply wasting your space there and can become contributors again, posed the child. But the king and his advisers looked appalled. Knowledge is power. Why should I hand power over to the useless and to the criminal? Not everyone in your jailhouse is a criminal. Many are there only because they are poor. Being poor is a crime, or it may as well be. If you have no other uses, I'd rather you take space in a cell than have land that could be otherwise used for something productive. Give the land to those who can properly pay their taxes. I see, said the child, and he left the king's court. That year, many who had been jailed were released with tabs paid in full, yet no one knew where the money had come from. When the king had their families investigated, they said that the money had been left to them by an unknown generous person. Angered and suspecting the child had something to do with this, the king doubled the prices on the heads of every person in the jail. Still, many more were released that year, and the poor villages welcomed them home with jubilation. They scraped together whatever they could and threw a party for those who had returned. They sang songs and they danced. But this enraged the king even more, so that he outlawed unsanctioned festivities and declared them to be as punishable as treason. Only those who had earned his graces were allowed to take part in the festivals he directed. He hired minstrels and dancers for his court and architects to make grand entertainment areas. He also allowed the towns who contributed the most to purchase festival permits. But the towns who contributed least he mocked and said, "If you actually earn it and make yourselves useful, then you can buy a permit. But until you are worth something, work. Work until you finally become something worth celebrating." And the other towns mocked them as well. Time passed, and the king decided to take a third bride. He ordered that all single women of his kingdom be appraised and the most beautiful be brought to his courts. A certain man. Oh, no, I was just making sure I didn't miss anything. A certain man from one of the poorest villages had a very beautiful daughter. But even though he had a lot to worry about for money, he refused to let her go. Instead, he hid her away. But for her father's sake, the girl left in the middle of the night, washed and dressed herself up, then hurried to the main cities. One of the king's messengers saw her and agreed with her beauty, so he took her to the courts. When the king saw her, he decided to take her as his next bride, and soon she bore him a daughter. The king doted on her because she was beautiful, but the other queens despised her for taking his attention. They treated both her and her daughter badly, so that the third queen kept only to her chambers for her daughter's safety. She also allowed no one else to tend to her daughter. But when the child returned again, and his presence was announced to the king, the third queen took her baby daughter and hurried to join the courts. She was not allowed further in, so she stayed against the side wall to watch the proceedings. When the other queens heard about this, they too took their children and came to stand against the wall of the meeting court. "I grow weary of your visits, child," said the king. But the child spoke as if he had not heard him. "Greetings, king. How fares this kingdom?" The king scowled. "It fares well, no thanks to you. What is your agenda? I know your craftiness. You come here to ruin and slander me. But here I am, powerful, rich, capable, and influential. I'm sure you've seen how they celebrate me in the streets and throw parties for how well I treat my worthy citizens. No other king has been as grand as I have." As he spoke, the daughter in the third wife's arms began crying. Her mother tried to soothe her, but to no avail. When the child saw her and the baby, he stared for a long time, so that the king felt embarrassed by the lack of acknowledgement for his own person. Offended, the king yelled, "Shut that baby up, woman, or leave the court." But the child turned sharply to the king and said, "You do it." Surprised by being given such a direct order and by how much authority the child spoke with, the king had to gather his wits again. "What did you say?" "King," said the child, his gaze steady. "At every turn you have disappointed me. You have abused your people and caused many to hate themselves. You have divided the kingdom using mockery and fear. But if you can do this one thing, if you can make that child laugh, or if you can even make her smile, I give you my word that I will never visit your courts again for as long as you live, and I will speak well of you to other kings. However, if you cannot bring happiness to even your own child, I will have to teach you how, for the sake of the ones that I love." Looking to his advisers, they all shook their heads. The child had a reputation, after all. It would be better to just go along for now. Surely making his daughter smile wouldn't be so hard a task, and the payoff of having the child's good word would benefit the kingdom. So the king had the woman come stand before him. "Give me the child," he directed, and the woman handed her daughter over to him. As soon as she was out of her mother's arms, the girl cried louder. The king tried to hush her, attempted to soothe her, but instead of calming, the baby screamed more. Enraged, the king stood from his chair and all but threw the girl back into her mother's arms and yelled, "You need to do better with this baby. She is impossible. You should be able to train her." Suddenly, the child was standing directly beside the king. Startled, the king took a step back, but the child reached out and grabbed the king's wrist. "You need a softer touch, king," said the child. And as his words formed, the air around the king's body rippled. His skin became softer, and he began to shrink. "What? What is—" "No loud voices," said the child. And as the child's voice met his ears, the king's mouth shut. Still, he shrank, and the child never released his arm. His body became lighter, and his legs shrunk up, away from the floor. His eyes darted around for help until he could no longer look anywhere but straight in front of him. Within seconds, what had been a man was now a doll. The doll wore a carnival hat and an outfit of vibrant colors. It appeared to be hand-stitched from soft thread, with cute button eyes and a happy little smile. Tiny bells topped its shoes, and a frill decorated its neck. The child held up the plush doll and jingled its little feet in front of the baby in her mother's arms. "Greetings, princess," he said in a soft voice. "Do you like this?" When the girl opened her tearful eyes to see what was jingling, she saw the bright colors and the fun hat and the little belled feet, and she laughed. As the girl reached her arms out for it, the child smiled and gave her the doll. The child stepped back and said, "Well now, it seems that even the most useless beings can have value." This is why it is said in Riyadh, "Heed the warnings or become a puppet." The end. So I think Hi Hide and Malik, neither of you have heard this story before. Don't you dare talk to my baby like that. Yes, DT has heard this story a couple times. Um, but I love to get people's opinions on on who is protagonist, who is antagonist in this story, because there's a lot of nuance in it, and I wrote it purposefully with its nuance. I would like to see what you guys think about it, like what your first thoughts are on the story. Um, like, did you connect with someone, or did you think that it was written for X, Y, or Z particular reason? I'm curious. Because I don't want to give you that answer. DT knows. DT, you already know. You already know. You know the deeper lore of this story. So I'm not gonna give that away. DT, don't give that away yet. But I'm sure you're over there bouncing. But yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts. There's so much more to this story. Oh, so much more to this story. This is one of my absolute. I mean, all of my stories are one of my absolute favorite pieces, but this is one of my absolute favorite pieces. I really love this book. Um, but this will be the actual way that the borders are gonna look is gonna like the borders and the backgrounds are gonna look like this. So I've been able to complete these pages here. There's a couple things. I noticed that I wrote elebration instead of celebration, so the C is missing in one of my pages, and I need to get that. Oh, let me go ahead and turn on the music again. Yeah. Okay, so those who don't know, the child, his name is Michael. And he is the titular character of my A Michael's Child series. Relevant to what's going on now. So you would think, just to put in a phrase, you would think that the author self would is writing this as a political commentary. It would make sense to believe that, as it is very political in a lot of its speak. So that would make sense. Did you do you think um do you side with anybody? Like the child or the king or maybe just the woman with the baby or like it's written admittedly to make well, let me shut up. Let me shut up and just hear people's thoughts first. I want to hear how deep other people think about it. You don't have to think deep about it either. It's just first impressions are totally fine. First impressions. Just first impressions. You don't have to think deep. There is deep to it, but I'm gonna lips are sealed for a moment longer. Um you guys can't hear that music. I can hear it. You guys can't. There you go. There's music. Let me know if the music's too loud or anything, okay? The child is almost Christ-like. Interesting. 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 Would you like to expound on what you perceived on that? You're the first to say that. That's really interesting. I'm a fan of Michael, but Shrunk. Oh, you want to see Shrunk? Here's Shrunk. Shrunk. How do I make this thing focus on Shrunk? Whatever, it's fine. He's little Shrunk. Quack quack. Quack. Quack 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 quack. Yes, I'm always a goofball. Let me go ahead and set up the second story. It doesn't come with pictures at the moment. I'm working on figuring out the best way to do pictures. I want to do like a Shel Silverstein type of style for the pictures, for the art for it. But I'd like to like hire somebody for it because it's not my forte. I'm good at this, but the style of art that I would like for it. Oh, you're driving, honey. Do not. Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you to endanger yourself while driving. But thank you for being in the chat while you're driving. Like, you came into the stream. Like, I appreciate that. I think I'm gonna pop this here. So, there is, I like this picture. There's stuff that I like and stuff that I don't like, but I think I'm just gonna keep it the way it is because I do kind of like it. It feels cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's very colorful. Let me go ahead and pop up the second book. I'm gonna actually show it to you guys as I read it, so you guys can follow along. But this is the novel in verse that I will be presenting to you guys today. I'm really excited about this one. It is the free book that you guys will be able to access on my website. I'm going to repost. I posted it a while back. I'm gonna repost it, so don't worry about it. I'll let you know when the blog pops out. But it'll be in the Somnibus blog or whatever. It'll be there. Ooh, wow, that goes really fast. I was hoping that I would just... I guess I'm just gonna have to do it this way, huh? That's fine. I am okay with that. Okay, so before I get to this story, I will go ahead and explain a little bit of... Should I actually... DT. Should I explain a little bit more about my thoughts on the child? Or should I wait and save it a minute? Maybe I should save it. I've already talked about it. I think I'm gonna save it. I want to know. I want to let you guys just continue to think about it. Just know, I might tell you at the end of the stream. So I'll just go ahead and read this one. And I think I'll tell you guys at the end of the stream. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yay. All right. Let them ponder. Yeah. Yeah. For eternity. Nah, not for eternity. Not for eternity. All right, let me turn this music off one more time and let's hear this one because I'm really curious what you guys think about this piece. This piece is a novel entirely in verse, mixing nursery rhymes, fairy tales, and other such things. Brothers Grimm is one of my things that I grew up on. I wrote this when I was 23, so I wrote this about 11 years ago. I didn't publish it because it's very difficult to publish. It's a novel in verse. Nobody's asking for that. But it's also because it takes from so many other things. Um, I just don't want to deal with anybody saying, "Oh, you just stole BS." Like I didn't steal anything. I wrote this. You'll understand. You'll understand. Let's get into it. I'm excited. The life and times of glory. And this is DT's first time hearing this, so yay! I'll tell you a story about Jack and Glory, and now my story's begun. The Jack, the cat, the rat, and the Joker. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jump over the candlestick. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jump over the candlestick. Jack was nimble, Jack was quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick. The fire fled to far away, so Jack the hero saved the day. So unafraid was he to hold his stance to any flame. The village people called him Cole, and king he soon became. Young King Cole was a merry young soul, and a very merry soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers three. The arrival of the Joker. In his courts came a Joker, and the Joker played as a jest. He danced and he sang until it was plain that the king esteemed him best. The jester was paid much in silver and all the more in gold. An idea had he that a king he could be, and the kingdom he could hold. "O King Cole, you're a very merry soul, but alas, I make a plea. A rat has found my trove, and has stolen all my gold. Are the streets now to await me?" Now, King Cole was a very kind soul, so he would not let this be. His guards searched the town, looking up, looking down, but the rat they could not see. But King Cole was a generous soul, and restored to his jester every single piece of gold. So the jester bowed his knee. "How I thank your majesty," and he left with a smile cold. Winter without fire. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jump over the candlestick. Jack was nimble, Jack was quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick. The fire fled to far away, so Jack the hero saved the day, but winter brought a price to pay. The jester would dance, and the children would play, while the man dressed pied came by the way, and arrived at the castle with a hope in vain to prithee the king for fire. And in that moment the jester sang, while ding dong dell the bells they rang, "O king, the rat, 'twas the rat again!" "Confound," cried the king, "I tire." The Pied Piper's plea. "O King Cole, you do seem a good soul, so I dare to make my plea. For I am the piper, in my hand I hold just the thing to relieve thee." "That?" said the Joker. "What a thing, King Cole! Do you not have a pipe that you play with your bowl?" "Ah," said the piper, "this I play with my soul. I will bring that rat to thee." So deal was struck for the capture. So a deal was struck for a capture between the piper and the king. To the piper, Cole promised fire, though intended not to honor such a thing. A rat was found in the village, known near and far as a thief, so Cole would have him finished, but that night his lie was released. The jester came as the Joker, and to the piper this lie he revealed. The angered piper set free the rat, and the king's fate then was sealed. The piper's curse. King, you lied. You lied, O king. Fire you said you would bring. My people suffer in the cold while you are growing fat and old. Away, piper. Away from me. You do not know, so cannot see. That angry fire will not come within the walls of my kingdom. A curse I place on you, O liar. Morning mother's blazing fire. And your love, the fairest cat, her life be taken by the rat. 1 year passed, then passed some more, since the piper, young and pied, fled himself to far away and cursed the king because he lied. The king, he met a maiden fair with deep sea eyes and golden hair. Enchanting as her smile be, King Cole got lost within that sea. And as the curse he soon forgot, more of his purse the joker caught. The piper's wrath. Now King Cole was a very merry soul, and a very merry soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers three. Ding dong dell, can you hear the bell? The Pied Piper comes from a deep dark well. The children play till they hear his call. They drop their chalk and forsake their ball. The mother mourns her child gone, for every child heard his song. Come, little children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantments. Come, little children, away, far away. I know a garden of magic. Come with me to a land of dreams, with jub-jub birds and tum-tum trees. The Jabberwock is slain each day by the hero of Far Away. The greatest man of Far Away will scorch the land with a blaze today. Aftermath. As prophesied, the mothers mourned. As blazes grew, the king was scorned. The joker used his coin, and then he bought cool water for the land. The king was taken to a hold, his kingdom bought by joker's gold. It was the most amazing thing. King became Jack and Joker king. The maiden and the teller. Grieved, fair maiden ran away, a promise on her lips that day, to find the man who sent the blaze for her love's kingdom to raise. Hope against all hope did she that her Jack might soon be free. She found herself a teller's shed and wants to get her fortune read, but the joker ran ahead. He donned a wig, wore gold and red, paid off the witch and took her stead, and poised himself within that shed. Oh, teller, please, I ask of thee, would you divine a man for me? I hear that he is far away, and so I come to you today. Hush, dear child, hear me true. That man I can divine for you, but there will be a price to pay. Right, then will my necklace do? The Fortune. I'll tell you a story about Jack and Glory, and now my story's begun. I'll tell you another, The Rat and His Brother, and now my story is done. Not fair, said the maiden. In riddles you speak, and I still do not know the man that I seek. Then plain I shall speak. Will you understand that? The one you are chasing, my dear, is the rat. Oh, I know of the rat. Indeed, he fled. Too far away, the maiden said, the night he was to lose his head. Another fortune. Maiden, a story I will regale about a rat who lost his tail. Three blind mice, see how they run. They all chased after the farmer's wife, who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life? I thought you would tell me about a rat. That I shall. Shall I that? He is closer than you think. Just leave here, look left, and blink. Something odd will catch your eye. Follow it, and you'll know why. The maiden begins her journey. So the maiden paid her helper, whom she believed was the witch. The joker thought himself quite clever, knowing he had made the switch. He left the necklace to the teller to do with it as she pleased. He, with plenty gold and silver, now could rest his mind at ease. In a day or two, thought he, perhaps he'd set the poor Jack free. The faraway lands. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrave. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. And as in uffish thought he stood, The Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood and burbled as it came. The maiden in blue and the rabbit in white. Little White Rabbit, hippity hop, little Blue Pony, clippity clop. Out into the streets went she, an odd thing to be seeking. When left she looked, white fur she saw, a funny rabbit speaking. I am late, how late I am! The queen will turn me into jam! He's watch secured on waistcoat band. He hopped off through the darkened land. Little bunny, oh so funny, wherefore dost thou hop away from me? Thou art the very one I seek, and I shall chase thee even though you flee. The rabbit hopped into the wood, the maiden soon to follow. Alas, the rabbit disappeared into a little hollow. The maiden squeezed herself on through, but what a foolish thing to do! A hole was there she could not see, and tumbled down head first did she. Luckily she was not hurt, although her words a little curt. The maiden has gone far away. Ding dong dell, someone's in the well. Who has fallen in? A silly little simpkin. Someone get me out! Call for Timmy Stout. The maiden, being more petite than most, held easy hope that any man could pull her up as she held to that rope. But it came quite a shock to her when she saw not a man, but Timmy Stout, a little boy, held the rope in his hand. How odd, she thought, though odder yet, is that I am not sopping wet, and how I came out of a well when down some random hole I fell. But little Timmy disappeared, so much to her surprise, and as she looked around, the wood was tulgey to her eyes. She felt a little chill and thought how brillig was the day, and since the rabbit still she sought, she must be on her way. The maiden and the hero. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves and the mome wraths outgrabe. She held her arms around herself long time, the manxome rat she sought, then rested she. Oh no, wrong button. Then spotted she a tum-tum tree and a man eyes closed in thought. Excuse me, sir, for I am lost. Directions I implore. But softly on the tree he leaned, and all he did was snore. But as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood and burbled as it came. The maiden's eyes went wide with fear. She could not fight. What could she do? Oh, how she longed for Jack! But suddenly the man awoke and ran his vorpal sword right through. He left it dead, and with its head he came galumphing back. See, I have slain the Jabberwock, so do not fear, you will be fine. Then realized he just who was she, and added, so your life is mine. The cat is trapped. She did not know what he implied. Said she, indeed, I almost died, and I will thank you one day true, but first there's something I must do. She wished to ask him if he knew a rat or rabbit passing through, but he stopped her mid of speech. She would not make her beseech. I, dear maiden, tip my hat, for you see I am the rat. But you, dear maiden, are the cat, and I will have none of that. Jack mourns. Little kitty, oh so pretty, wherefore hast thou gone away from me, with boots of white and fur of golden yellow and eyes deeper than the sea? Poor old Jack, he's never coming back. He traveled round the world just to find his kitty cat. The cat he didn't find, but the bell she left behind. He stayed away, cried many a day, and now has lost his mind. The end of chapter 1. This entire novel is written in verse. I can't remember how many chapters I have. How many do I have? I have 11 chapters. But I hope you guys enjoy it. You guys will be able to access it for free on my website. I will be posting it. So if you enjoyed this, I also will be reading it some more. I kind of want to it's a difficult book to read on your own, but it's a great book to have read to you, in my opinion. So I plan on doing, oh, here we go. Plan on doing videos 13 There are 13 chapters. There are 13 chapters in this book. Songs of Solemn Men is the last chapter. It is the epilogue, and I absolutely love it, and I did cry while I wrote it. Um, so it's 13 chapters all written in verse, and it's very, 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 very fun. I am editing it a little bit because I originally wrote it the way you see down here, where it's all together and it doesn't have separations. So I'm here making separations and little title bits for each section, so you kind of know what you're going into when you read each section of poetry. So it gives you a place to breathe and break. One of the feedbacks that I got, critical feedbacks that I got back when I wrote this 11 years ago, was that they didn't know where to breathe when they were reading the book. Because you know, like when you read a regular book, you can just stop in the middle of a chapter and come back. When you read this, it kind of all flows as one thing, and you don't want to read all 13 chapters in one sitting, and that's a lot. So I needed to make breaks, and so I made little title breaks. But I see fire in the chat. Polyflix, thank you so much. I see a ooh face, so I'm hoping that's a good thing. Thank you, Hi Hide. I'm glad you were here to lurk. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me today. Um, I hope you guys like these. I do. I do. I want to make these actual videos and, you know, I would love to make animations of these very badly. I think they deserve them. Um, they're a lot of fun. And Malik, I know you said BRB. Not sure if you're back. I would love to tell you my thoughts on um the the child. And hi Hyde, since you were here, and you were lurking on with the child, I didn't hear your thoughts on the story. Um, but I do want to go ahead and oh DT, you're drawing a comic. Yay! I love that. Yeah, that's this is ADD stream where we all just create and chill together. Chill and create. That's the whole thing. So I'm very, very happy. And DT, if you want to post any of your comic in the Discord, please do. I love to see it. Um, but thoughts on this one first on the doll. I will be submitting it for publication by the end of this week. Um, as I don't want to work on it any longer. So I am forcing myself to grind like no one's business. Tomorrow I will just be working on this the whole day. I've done 12-hour shifts on this book, and it's going to take me about 12 more hours just to get all of the backgrounds and little fiddly winks and formatting that I need to do. And then on Wednesday I'm gonna get the title or the not the title the cover page done. So I don't know that I'm gonna have a ChillCreate stream next week. I don't believe I will. Because next week I won't really be having anything to show you guys to be working on. I will simply be waiting for Amazon to give me the the first print of the book. Um, and I need to approve it. I need them to approve it. It usually comes back with errors saying X, Y, and Z need to be changed before we can print, blah, blah, blah. So I usually have to send it off like a few times, and I'll be doing that. And I will also be recording the Life and Times of Glory, the novel in verse. So I think that will probably just be my Monday drop. I don't think I'll have anything on Monday this coming week just because I don't have time to make anything. But maybe next Monday and the Monday after that, I will have some videos for each chapter from the Life and Times of Glory, and you will be able to access them on my website, c9prod.com. So since you guys did get to hear a little bit about you guys got to hear the doll read aloud here. Um I want to give you some of my thoughts on it. It obviously sets up that the king is the evil and the child is the savior. I don't agree. I don't. I believe that the child set up a man to become a villain. And so the very thing that really starts that starts my issue with the child is this right here. Um, I have no need for a place among your counselors, and I don't call any place my true home. But I have loved ones in this kingdom. I wish for them to have a good king. That on the surface sounds great, but if you want influence in a kingdom or if you want influence in a culture, you need to be part of that culture. So this is at least in my opinion. Like if I can, like you guys see me as a gamer, I'll be streaming on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and we game, and it's great. It's great and it's fun. But if you never saw me stream or play a game at all, and then I came in and I told you guys how to stream, I don't know, how I told you what is the best games, what games you guys need to choose because X, Y, and Z, da da da, just randomly, just made a video of it, and I expect you guys all to just follow exactly what I say when you guys don't know me from Adam and don't even know that I play games or what games I play or anything about me, and I know nothing about you, and I never spent any time in your culture. Are you gonna be listening to me? No. Um, and the child is he is an eternal child, or known as the eternal child. He's not technically an eternal child. He just ages very slowly. Um, but he's like 62, 64 in this. this that's why DT calls him the fairy grandpa, sassy grandpa who farts fairy dust. The fairy dust fart is because I made a weird background. Who cares? I'm not going to give you all the inside joke on that. Anyway, he farts fairy dust. It is now canon. But uh, this is why DT calls Michael sassy grandpa child. Um, but he is like 62, 64, somewhere in that range. I need to look it up to tell you exactly. So sorry, I don't know my own lore. But he he's he knows he's been around the block. Like he's known by other people. He's helped other kingdoms and stuff like that. That's true. He's known as a sage. He's known to have wisdom from the heavens. He's got a reputation. So yeah, he can back it up a bit, but his whole his folly is his own pride. And he believes that because I am great and awesome, the great and awesome Kron, and because I'm great and awesome, you just need to listen to me, hands down. And if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna take matters in my own hands. And if he had, like, the king was like what 14 when he first took rule, he looked for counselors. And all he had was his father to go after. His father had these types of counselors, had these kinds of things in place, um, and there were things going on in the kingdom that you don't see in this story, but you will see in the novels. There were things going on in this kingdom that required a hard hand. Like there were some really difficult decisions he had to make, and he's young and he's trying to live up to his father's expectations and the expectations of the people, um, for him to be better than his father because his father had a lot of failings. So he needs to do greater. He needs to be greater. And yeah, I'm not gonna say he's a happy little muffin, but like he wasn't evil at the beginning. He wasn't this awful entity. And instead of being part, like if the child had stayed for like 3 years, five max, the king never would have become the person that he became. If the child had stayed and been part of the council, because the king took the scroll, he was willing to accept and listen, but to combat all the stuff, the old ways that things were done, and the leans toward all of these things that were gonna hurt the people, the child needed to actually take part and not just listen to what I say. Bye. I'm gonna be gone for 3 years. Come back, check on you, and tell you that you suck. Um, so that is my take on it. But I also understand. Obviously, I understand the other side as well, because I wrote it and I claim the child as a hero in this story. He looks like the hero in the story. Um, but he also just leaves a vacuum. He turns some dude into a doll, and this guy who started out misguided and wouldn't have become this villain had he just had help for those first 3 years and was willing to accept it, he would never have become this villain. And now he's eternally a doll, with consciousness. And you see on the very last page, um, this, uh, the flat one. You see on this the very last page, he loses the color, in his threads that make him. He starts losing all of the color. So this is kind of what he looks like at the moment. I haven't delved into why. I don't entirely know. I just know that that is the case. Oh, I have this music that could be going this entire time. I haven't been playing it. I forgot. Um, but yeah, he definitely. I don't feel like anybody deserves an eternity as a doll, losing yourself. You can watch the world and you can't do anything. Like, I wonder like how it must have felt to have his daughter hold him in her hands and he can't say anything. And inversely, what it feels like as the daughter to be like, yeah, my dad became a doll. And he's known as being an awful king, and this is now what I have in my house, in my possession. Like, it's a lot. Anyway, so I really love both these stories, and I really hope that people dive further in than what you see on the surface in all of the books I write. The Tales of Tavana, this one is one of the Tales of Tavana, along with, well, no, the Life and Times of Glory is not a Tales of Tavana, but it is a story weaving exercise. It is a very fun culmination of stories that I grew up on. But the doll is the 5th book in the Tales of Tavana series, or the 4th book in the Tales of Tavana series, my 5th book, my fifth picture book that I'm publishing. So I'm gonna eventually have a whole omnibus that I will publish, with all of everything from Desmond Death Flores to the doll, and also Worlds in the Water is coming out next. So that's the next one I will be working on as a picture book. Young adult picture books, you can get them here. Who asks for young adult picture books? No one. No one asks for the stuff that I write. However, it is what I write. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have to get to class. We have, I think I have one more class after this. I have one more class after this. So yeah. Yeah. So I might end this. I think I'm gonna end the stream a little bit early, unless anybody wants to give any of their thoughts on the books, because I would love to hear from you. I just don't know who all is in chat, and who all is simply lurking. But I would love to hear your thoughts on either of these stories before I log off. It would just be really cool to know. And I guess I may as well go ahead and get a little bit more work done. I can show you what I did to make the backgrounds, because it's quite interesting. It's here. So what I'm doing for these... There it is. So these guys I put into a group. I don't want to flatten it, but that is the black design that I made. And then I do another thing here. Let me go grab some colors real quick. I think I'll grab some from... I've started to mute some of the colors because I actually storytell in the coloring as well. So I've started to... Some of the colors and the borders were very, like, vibrant before. But now you'll see like this here is muted. Oh, you can't see that. There. You'll see that I've muted some of the color here. You're gonna see more of that as the story progresses, because some of the stuff is I storytell as I color. You'll also notice that I do dark purple, usually around Michael, which is also storytelling as I color. So that's part of the thing. If you're wondering about my mind, and if you're not, I don't know why you're here actually. um, but I did. What was this? This was the okay. So the top layer is the texture, and I can just take that off real quick, and I can grab some of these colors. Oh, here we go. I needed a vibrant yellow. There we are. Alright, so then I have where are you? There you are, this. So I use this brush. I can make that as little bit as I want. Just be like, woo. That's wrong, incorrect. I did not do the selecting thingy. Hang on, let me select. Instead of being a dum-dum. Excuse me. There we go. Alright. So I got all that is that color. I want to shrink it down by 1. And then I feather by 1. I only do that because I don't like a weird, sharp, like extremely sharp edges. I'm not a fan of that. I like, there'll be sharp, weird edges, like crackly looking edges. I'm not a fan of that. So I feather one pixel. Alright, do I want that yellow over here? I don't, actually. I want, actually, am I gonna have yellow? Interesting. Interesting. I think I'll do this for now. Because again, I storytell like with my colors. I think I'll make them yellow. And I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Okay, so then we're gonna take orange. Alright, I'm gonna do this. That's gonna be orange. Okay. I'm gonna take that. There we go. I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take a little bit. Nope, not that. There we go. Let's take a little bit of that. And I think we're gonna go down here and start making these a little bit darker. There we go. I'm gonna do this for the base. So this here. Cause yeah, I technically have like how many more? I have like 15 more minutes before I have to go. So it's like, you know what? Let's go ahead and get some done. That's not what button. Did that button of a button? There we go. Yeah, let's move some of this a little bit out. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna add one more layer. And now that I have these guys, I'm going to shift you. That's not what I meant to do. Hello. There you go. Wow, that is very vibrant. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take an orange. Let's play with this. Hi. We're just gonna whoop. Hello. Everybody's orange now. Okay. So I'm gonna use some of this. Oh. Forgot that was there. Let's get rid of that. There's a method to my madness. Don't worry about it. You don't have to know. Alright. Okay. That's fine. Alright, then we're gonna do this one, but we're gonna make you this. And we're gonna bring you over. Okay. So let's see. Think about here. Seems about right. We'll go with it for now. Alright. Okay, let's get some of this. I just have to eyeball it and figure it out as I go. I'm gonna do that, do this. Okay, and then we're gonna grab one of you, but we're gonna make you over here, and we're gonna make you over here. There. Okay. Oh, I did not actually. Hang on. Woo! Let's that. There you go. I might use some of this orange. Okay, do that. Maybe even a little yellow actually, for funsies. Tiny bitty yellow. That's fine. Okay. There's a little bit of yellow there. Just because that's going to be some fun contrast. Woo! There's a yellow here. There we go. I'm going to do that there. Resolve. There we go. Use some of this here real quick for this. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna use this one, and we're gonna make you a little bit more muty. We're gonna do over here. That's fine. Purple. Alright. And we're gonna do one more. Alright, that's about what I want. I'll go with it. So then where are you? There you are. Hello. I'm gonna use tiny. Okay. Oh, I should make sure this is turned off. There you go. All this is doing is blending it. Do a little bit. And do a little bit blendies. Speaking of, has anybody worked in Blender? It's very fun. It's also a very... I don't want to say high learning curve. It's just got a learning curve. Some of you will have a mind for it more than others, but it is really cool, and I think it's worth getting to know how to use. I got to learn a little bit of engineering from it, and CAD program and stuff like that. That was really cool. We have a little a CAD mod you can add to it. Highly recommend. If you ever want to get into Blender, Maker Tales is a fantastic teacher on YouTube. And I like him a lot. Okay, so this... Oh, hang on a second. Nope. Hang on. There, this was the problem. There we go. I didn't need to see that. That's gonna drive me nuts. That's better, I guess. Whatever. Anyway. I think I want to make this just a little bit blurry. There we go. Okay. So... I say as I want to fix that again. Alright, yay! So there you go! And that is how I make my borders. Now you know. Well, that's how I make the borders for this anyway. Yeah, that's gonna annoy the junk out of me. Is this one? That one? This one? This one? That's gonna drive me nuts. Is this? Yay! Okay, cool. Just get some of that, because that's gonna... No! Hat, get thing. Alright. Cool. A little better about life. Let me get that to blend. Will it blend? I used to watch that. I don't do it anymore. Do they still do Will It Blend? It's been a long time since I've seen the things that I grew up with on YouTube. Cool. Perfect. That took me like 10 minutes. Not bad at all. Of course, there's like little bitty things I want to fix. That's not bad. I'm down for 10 minutes. So a lot of these things take a lot more time than you think, but I finally got the hang of this particular just this particular I got the hang of this. The borders and stuff. And then I just need to do a background, so did I have one that I used to have for this? I did. I don't like that at all. What the hell was I doing? Alright. So, I would need one of these. I would love for you to make another thing, please. I think I have depleted... Okay, here we go. Alright, so there's this. I have... There's a nifty color. We'll go with that. Alright, bye. You don't need to save it. All I did was take that off. Okay. Or you could save. I don't know. That's fine. So I just get some kind of color up here. Oh, I don't need a ton. Just want some basics. Alright, let's get this. Oh, that is not white. Alright, hi, let me know what you think about the stories. I would love to hear it. I'm actually heading off stream. In 1 minute is when I'm supposed to head off stream. So, thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. I'm glad you were able to lurk. I need to get some food too. Ahmed! Oh, you came. I actually am ending the stream soon, but please rewatch this stream. Because I got to read um the first chapter of um The Life and Times of Glory, and I think you would really like it. You may not be familiar with all of the nursery rhymes I took from it, but it is a really cool piece, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Honestly, I think it'd be cool. But I have to go here in just a minute. How you doing though, Ahmed? Awesome, awesome. You rock, my dude. Alright, let's see. So I just need to get a little texture. I want to finish this. I told them that I might be a little bit late at class just because I knew I was going to try and get... I knew I was going to get into a mode because I love that I'm almost done. Thank you, God. Very, very happy about that. Okay, cool. Alright. I'm so happy. So happy to be almost done with this thing. Like, I'm gonna be done with all the main parts by the end of tomorrow. Just end of story. You've been writing? Oh, awesome. What season are you on? Is it the same? It's the same saga, right? Pop you over here. I'm gonna do this. I think this thing is struggling to catch up. I might have to just... Oh no, it's fine. It's got it now. All I'm doing is adding a little bit of texture. Alright, I have to go. I have to go. I know I have to go. I know I have to go. But I would really like for this texture to appear on my screen so I can see what it looks like, please. There we go. Okay. I don't need the texture there. I'm here with that. I don't need that here. Actually, that looks kind of cool. I'm down for it. Let's go. Alright, cool. Did thing. Alright. I'm just gonna add, like, little bubble effect, which is this. And I'm gonna, not green, because green is not here right now. Who's here? You? What's your color? This. Let's do that. Let's add another thing. I'm, like, being cursory about it. What's the word? Alright, so what's that? This. I need to go. I know I need to go. I do. I do know that I need to go. I do know this. I do. And I will be gone at a time when I go. That is not the color I want. Give me more pastel color. Not quite. This? Okay. And then just some yellow accent. Kron, you need to leave. Stop messing with it. You will get it done tomorrow. Seriously, Kron, you need to leave. Alright, anyway. Yeah, there's a couple more things I need to fix on this, but this is fine. Fine, I'm fine. Everything's fine. This is... Actually, that works. Yeah, I'm here for it. Rock on. Alright. Cool. Save. Yay! Alright. Sorry. Alright. It's on season 6. Oh, season... Because you were on, like, season 13, or last time I talked to you, so I would guess you're further. But you're, like, redoing a scene from, like, earlier? Because I have to go, and I really hate to do that to you, can you, would you be able to, post some of your story in the Discord? I just have to go. Alright, heart in the chat for Ahmed. Oh, that's totally fine, Ahmed. However long it is. Alright, I will catch you later. Love everybody. Thank you, everyone who came today. This has been... I'm really excited to share these with you. I can't wait to show you the stuff that's coming out every week. Coming up. Yay. Alright, and live long and prosper. That's not what I was supposed to say. Stay gorgeous, peeps. Mwah!